Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira
A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Nityananda Prabhu Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajita Charya Stotara Sita Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Guru Parampara Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrindi Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kundi Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navadhip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Gangamai Yamunamai Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi all those devotees, all those devotees, all those devotees, all those to see Guru. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasim.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Mudirayet.
Tato Jayam Mudirayet.
Nasta Praishu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki from Canto 1, Chapter 1. This is text number 4, all the way to the beginning. We always have to go back to the beginning because we constantly forget. Constantly forget, so we have to realign ourselves sometimes in devotional service to get that we're knocked off the path by Maya and so this way or that way, and constant reminders are necessary. I'll just read the Sanskrit verse translation purpose. Naimishe nimishak kshetre rishayak shonakadayah satrang svargaya lokaya sahasra samam asata. Word for word. Naimishe.
Naimishe.
In the forest known as Naimisharanya.
In the forest known as Naimisharanya.
Animisha kshetre.
Animisha kshetre.
The spot which is especially a favorite of Vishnu.
The spot which is especially the favorite of Vishnu.
Who does not close his eyelids.
Who does not close his eyelids.
Rishaya.
Rishaya.
Sages.
Sages.
Shaunaka Adayaha.
Shaunaka Adayaha.
Headed by the sage
Headed
Shaunaka.
by the sages Shaunaka.
Satram.
Satram.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Svargaya.
Swargaya.
The Lord who is glorified in heaven.
The Lord who is glorified in heaven.
Lokaya.
Lokaya.
And for the devotees.
And for the devotees.
Who are always in touch with the Lord.
Who are always in touch with the Lord.
Sahasra.
Sahasra.
1,000.
1,000.
Samam. Years. Asata.
Asataha.
The
form.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Once in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Shaunaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. Purport. The prelude of the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken in the previous 3 shlokas. Now the main topic of this great literature is being presented. Srimad Bhagavatam, after its first recitation by Srila Shukadev Goswami, was repeated for the second time at Naimisharanya. In the Vayavya Tantra, it is said that Brahma, the engineer of this particular universe, contemplated a great wheel which could enclose the universe. The hub of this great circle was fixed at a particular place known as Naimisharanya. Similarly, there is another reference to the forest of Naimisharanya in the Varaha Purana, where it is stated that by performance of sacrifice at this place, the strength of demoniac people is curtailed. Thus Brahmanas prefer Naimisharanya for such sacrificial performances. The devotees of Lord Vishnu offer all kinds of sacrifices for his pleasure. The devotees are always attached to the service of the Lord, whereas fallen souls are attached to the pleasures of material existence. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that anything performed in the material world for any reason other than for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu causes further bondage for the performer. It is enjoined, therefore, that all acts must be performed sacrificially for the satisfaction of Vishnu and his devotees. This will bring everyone peace and prosperity. The great sages are always anxious to do good to the people in general, and as such the sages headed by Shaunaka and others assembled at this holy place of Naimisharanya with a program of performing a great and continuous chain of sacrificial ceremonies. Forgetful men do not know the right path for peace and prosperity. However, the sages know it well. And therefore, for the good of all men, they are always anxious to perform acts which may bring about peace in the world. They are sincere friends to all living entities, and at the risk of great personal inconvenience, they are always engaged in the service of the Lord for the good of all people. Lord Vishnu is just like a great tree, and all others, including the demigods, men, siddhas, charanas, vidyadharas, and all other living entities, are like branches. Twigs, and leaves of that tree. By pouring water on the root of the tree, all the parts of the tree are automatically nourished. Only those branches and leaves which are detached cannot be so satisfied. Detached branches and leaves dry up gradually, despite all watering attempts. Similarly, human society, when it is detached from the personality of Godhead, like detached branches and leaves, is not capable of being watered, and one attempting to do so is simply wasting his energy and resources. The modern materialistic society is detached from its relation to the Supreme Lord, and all its plans which are being made by atheistic leaders are sure to be baffled at every step, yet they do not wake up to this. In this age, the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord is the prescribed method for waking up. The ways and means are most scientifically presented by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and intelligent persons may take advantage of his teachings in order to bring about real peace and prosperity. Srimad Bhagavatam is also presented for the same purpose, and this will be explained more specifically later in the text. Naimishe nimisha kshetre vishayaksho nikadayaha satrang swargaya lokaya sahasra samam asata. Once in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Shonika assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. Om Gyan Kundarasya Gyanandra Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Savana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Savara Sri Vishakam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. So from the Bhagavatam we get an idea of the standard of life that we should live. You know, we're born into this modern society, modern world, and so many options of lifestyle are presented to us that we can follow. Not only lifestyles, but life habits that we learn, and philosophies that we learn, and ways of thinking, and social influences, and we become, internally and externally, we become conditioned by all of these surroundings around us. You know, in school, we have our friends, walking and going places, we meet people, we read books, we associate with so many elements in the world, and we become conditioned by these things. And you know, we watch, you know, shows, YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and we're all become a kind of almost addicted to these sort of things, because they prop up who we think we are. Right? We've developed a certain personality and concept of ourselves based on all of these surrounding environments and influences. And these influences are endless influences. Just driving down the street, you see signs advertising this, you hear music advertising that, stores selling this. So it's an endless, what is it called, barrage of influence on our mind and our consciousness. So on account of that, we become conditioned, more conditioned than we already are. We're already conditioned by the three modes of material nature: ignorance, passion, goodness. Right? Tribhir gunamayar babayar evi sarvam idam jagat. Oh, Krishna says that deluded by the three modes of material nature, the whole world does not know me, who am above this and inexhaustible. So we become conditioned by these modes, and it's the path out is very difficult. And even within the realm, or how do we say, the classification of ways to get out, there are so many options and varieties. So you have all of these influences for materialistic life and becoming happy. Somebody eventually, they'll become disgusted and frustrated with all of those efforts to become happy materially, and they'll start thinking about some other way to become happy, spiritual way. Most of the options out there are pretty lame. You have in the realm of New Age things, like people who follow and believe in angels and other higher entities and beings, and worship crystals and what is that ball called? Crystal ball.
Crystal ball.
Looking for the future and have their fortunes read and
Cards and
Tarot cards.
Tarot cards, and so there's so many different kinds, so many things, and all influenced by different modes of material nature and different philosophers, Kant and Schopenhauer and this one and that one, Freud and
Sigmund Freud
and all these different people coming up with different philosophies and different understandings of what they think reality is. And then I forget the philosopher who committed suicide because his philosophy, what was his name? I don't remember. His philosophy was that life has no purpose, it's useless, it's all just suffering and frustration. So in order to prove that he believed his own philosophy, he committed suicide. That's the ultimate conclusion of his philosophy, right? If this is your philosophy,
you have to follow it.
You have to follow it. So he drove his car off a cliff and killed himself.
Oh,
Krishna.
Actually, I'm reading this book by Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
What is it called?
It's called Tattva Vivek.
Tattva Vivek.
Discovering the Truth. And see, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a very great intellectual person also. He wasn't just, of course he was a magistrate in the government and had a big family and everything. And of course he's one of our acharyas. But during his life, he studied many different philosophies, analyzing them. In his Leela, he's a liberated person, but in his Leela of, you could say, coming to Krishna consciousness, even like Rupa and Sanatan, they're eternally liberated souls, but they come for a pastime, for a Leela within Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he studied all these different philosophies, and eventually when he came to Lord Chaitanya, he discovered that this is the ultimate truth beyond all other truths. So somewhere along the line he wrote this book, Tattva Vivek, and he breaks down and analyzes various philosophies
from different philosophers of his time, and he previously impersonal, Mayavad, and some of the modern people at his time, French philosophers, German philosophers, and he explains some of the faults. The main fault being that material, you cannot come to the proper transcendental conclusions through your materialistic conditioned mind and senses and speculation. Anyway, it goes on like that. So there's so many different philosophies to catch people's attention. So these things are also another form of conditioning in the material world. Even bona fide Vedic philosophies can become, you can become conditioned by that. Krishna says that the mode of goodness, you become conditioned by the concept of happiness. Like the Brahmanas, you worshiping the Vishnu or demigods, and you get some prosperity, some happiness, some peace of mind, and you become attached to that. Or followers of the karma mimamsa ideas of the Vedas, or karma kanda, or yoga kanda, and all the different paths that are presented in the Vedas. They're all bona fide, and they have a procedure. They all are meant to lead to the ultimate Krishna consciousness. Badha, jivas, we've been here eternally practically, just going one birth after another, just conditioned by our material bodies and identities. But the conditioning in this life is hard enough to overcome. I didn't mention that part of another form of conditioning in the modern world. You know, we have psychology and psychiatrists and psychoanalysts who offer different, methodologies for finding some peace and happiness amidst your confused and frustrated life. So many options are presented there. So many books. If you ever go to a bookstore, I don't know if you ever go to a bookstore like Barnes and Noble. It's just unbelievable the number of books that people have written, and that's just pretty some modern books and recent history. What to speak of previous history? So so many books. Some things are practical and helpful, but for the most part, they enhance our further conditioning in this world, in this material world. So the standard is here. The sages of Naimisharanya, knowing that Kali Yuga is about to take place, they assemble to perform a yajna for 1,000 years. 1,000 years, so they plan to perform this yajna in the place of Naimisharanya. And Prabhupada quotes a few references to Vayavya